Hi there, everybody. I'm Ginny Massie, Balanced Body Master Instructor. And today, what I would like to talk to you about is the full range and spectrum of being a Pilates teacher, Pilates instructor, a leader, Pilates leader, or a Pilates trainer. Whatever you call yourself, there's a spectrum of being a Pilates movement instructor of some kind, right? And so that's what I want to talk with you about today, because I have been witnessing and felt myself and noticed from many of my Pilates teacher trainer students, as well as just other Pilates instructors that I know, is there's this overall feeling of I should be better at this, or I should know that. There's a lot of shoulds put on our shoulder. And so being a Pilates instructor trainer myself, teaching people to learn how to teach Pilates to others, I definitely know that even those who come into teacher training come in at a different level of knowledge. So then wherever you come into your teacher training with, we all learn the same exercises, we all learn the same information, but then we all launch as teachers from even a little bit different starting place because of our background. And one of my biggest passions as an educator is to mentor and coach and teach Pilates instructors who have no movement background history as far as teaching goes. And so that's kind of what I want to talk with you about today, is not just those of you who are truly confident and well on your way, but those of you who might be struggling a little bit or concerned about what you know or what you don't know. And that, whether your background is expansive or limited, is really what I would like to touch on today, is how do you get over that feeling of, I don't know enough? Okay, there is so much continuing education in the Pilates world, yes, that you can definitely tap into education course after education course after education course to start to fill in some of those gaps. But what I want to talk to you about today is not about how much you can learn, but about what you can learn inside yourself. So not the next best exercise or the next, what am I trying to say, with somebody with special conditions, the next set of special conditions to work with. What I would like to encourage you to do is take a step back, look at where you are currently in your Pilates teaching journey, and think, if I couldn't learn any more than what I know right now, how could you still become a better instructor? If you couldn't learn the next best technique or the next body condition, right? Or attend the next big conference or the next online training, what could you do right now to get better at teaching Pilates, if that is your goal? And oftentimes what that means is that we have to then turn the tides, and instead of looking outwards for more information, we have to start looking inward for more information. And that is one of the biggest skill sets of the mentors and educators in this industry that I recognize. So let's touch back just a moment. We talked about there's a range of Pilates instructors. So from currently being in teacher training to highly skilled and highly advanced. And what does that look like on the spectrum? Where do you feel you fit on the spectrum? Do you feel like you're still fairly new? Do you feel like your knowledge is just not quite where you would want it to be? Do you feel like you know a lot and you're just kind of adding to your toolbox, even though what your toolbox is already so expansive? So think about where you fit on that spectrum. And that is exactly the right place to be for you today, right now. So first off, I'd like you to think about where you are and not compare yourself to the next person you see on Instagram or your favorite mentor or coach, not to compare yourself to where they are, to be inspired by them, but not feel like you're not good enough because you don't know that or because you can't teach that to that degree yet. Does that make sense? So just recognize that where you are with your current skill set is great where you are right now. It doesn't mean that you're settled, but taking a moment to appreciate all that you have learned, everything that you've put into your education to be the great instructor that you are today, all of that counts and all of that matters. So if you would like to do a little extra bit of homework for yourself, pause this video, or at the end of this video, take a moment and just write down all of the things that you have done for yourself to get where you are, to be able to be the teacher you are today, whether that's your education or classes that you've taken or mentors that you've worked with, or maybe some even personal skills that you have developed for yourself. Have you learned new technology? Have you gotten better at public speaking? What types of things have you done to really expand yourself as a Pilates instructor? Okay, so there's so many different things that we need to really be able to stand up in front of a group of people, to be able to talk, not just talk, but to talk confidently, to understand the exercises and the order that we are teaching them in, to be able to communicate how to cue and get people to follow what we're asking them to do. That's a skill set. So wherever you are on the spectrum of teaching Pilates, take a moment and appreciate all the skills that you have already built for yourself. And then once you can revel in all of that information, that is when you get to approach your teaching skills from a layer of gratitude rather than a layer of depletion. So that is my intention for you today, is for you to recognize that where you are right now is valid and well earned. And then once you can really feel and embrace everything that you have done for yourself to become the Pilates instructor you are, then turn around and see, okay, now what would I like to include for my teaching skills? Where do I feel I'm lacking? Not because I'm a bad Pilates instructor, because you're not, but because you recognize that you have all of these certain skills already, and then you can piece out and say, what skills am I needing a little bit more support with? Okay, so it definitely takes time and it takes practice to work on these skills, but it also takes awareness and a moment to step back and say, hey, I've done a lot for myself already as a Pilates instructor. This is what I've done. These are the skills that I've gained. This is what I've put into my teaching skill set. And then you can say, okay, are there any holes? Are there anything that I feel would make me a more well-rounded instructor? And those are the things that you should go after. Whether that's taking a business class, whether that's learning more in depth about the exercises, whether that is your special conditions, or whether that's learning how to feel more comfortable in front of the camera, or maybe that's how do you communicate with clients at a level that gets them to follow and understand and trust and appreciate you. There are so many different things that you can look at, and that's why this is such a personalized journey, but one that I want you to feel empowered with rather than depleted from. So when you look to your mentors or you look to those great Pilates coaches that you've seen on the internet or you've taken courses from, and you say, gosh, I want to be just like them, or I want to be able to do this like them. Instead, turn that around in your mind, and not to be just like them, but how did they get to where they are? That's what you should ask. What things did they put into their teaching skills that got them to this level? And those are the qualities that should inspire you to grow and expand your own skills, which then feed into your teaching skills, which then will make you an amplified, inspired, and awesome, exciting Pilates teacher, educator, and mentor, possibly influencer. Okay, so all of these things really are what make the base of you as a Pilates instructor. So you can always know that you don't have to do it alone. All right. So becoming better at your craft, at your teaching skills, does not mean that you have to figure it all out yourself. It doesn't mean that you have to go through the school of hard knocks. Trust me, plenty of us have, myself included. And it's a really hard road to travel alone. And so if you're looking for help with your teaching skills, seek out somebody who you really resonate with, somebody who you feel speaks your language, somebody who you would like to learn from, somebody who exemplifies one of those words, what it is that you're looking to achieve in your quality of teaching, not to be like them, but to be inspired by them. And when you can work with a mentor or a coach or a Pilates educator, that is when you really get a kickstart into your teaching skills. It's kind of like a shortcut, so to speak, and a shortcut is not a bad thing. A shortcut helps you shave time and get really going that much quicker into your teaching career in the direction that you want to go that much faster. Thank you for tuning in today. Make sure to like and subscribe if today's video was helpful. And if you'd like to learn even more ways to level up your cueing, programming, and client connection skills, check out my online program for Pilates instructors, Class Design Superstar, with the link below. See you next time.